gentleman that I respect very much and that I like to uh, have conversations with. And we're going to have one of these conversations here right now with you. Okay? And who am I with?
Go ahead.
Oh, Daniel B.
What's up? I'm all work. How's it going?
All right, we got Ulrich and Daniel B here. And we're going to talk about how do you pronounce his name? James
I want to say James Reimer.
Reimer. He is a Sparks, San Diego Sparks goalie. And the San Diego Sparks goalie has put his foot down and has refused to let's hear what he has to say.
Under the umbrella of the NHL's Hockey is for Everyone initiative, the San Jose Sharks have chosen to wear a jersey in support of the LGBTQIA plus community tonight. For all 13 years of my NHL career, I've been a Christian, not just in title, but in how I choose to live my life daily. I have a personal faith in Jesus Christ who died on the cross for my sins, and in response, asked me to love everyone and follow him. I have no hate in my heart for anyone. I've always strived to treat everyone with respect and kindness. In this specific instance, I'm personally choosing not to endorse something, a sexual identity or orientation that is counter to my convictions, which are based in the Bible, which I consider the highest authority in my life. I strongly believe, I feel like I couldn't reiterate that enough. I strongly believe that every person has value in life, value and worth. You guys, my teammates, everyone. I strongly believe that every person has value and worth in people in this community. And the LGBTQIA plus community, like all others, should be welcome in all aspects of the game of hockey. So obviously, that's kind of my statement, which the team has, I think, already given to you guys. I think something that I want to kind of reiterate and you guys can ask me and whatnot, but or can check me on it. But you know what I'm like. I think you know my reputation. I feel like I've treated you guys with respect and dignity, and that's kind of how I treat everyone. As far as teammates, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation, I treat everyone with the same kindness and respect. I mean, when a guy walks in the room, I don't ask him, his life story. I just, my faith has said that, like I said before, everyone has worth and value, and I love them. And so, when a guy gets traded to a team, often I'll ask the people in charge, like, what's their number? So I can send them a text, welcome to the team, ask if they need anything, and I don't do that based off of, what they believe or what they identify with. I do that because, I'm taught to love and to care for people. And so, that's who I am. And so, but the counter side or the other side is that I just can't, publicly or and personally endorse, something that goes against, my beliefs. And so that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. So we have a professional hockey player. He's a Canadian guy. And this Canadian guy was asked, the whole team has to wear this LGBT shirt. I'm trying to see if we can just find the actual shirt. Like, what does the shirt look like? This LGBT shirt that this man does not want to wear. And, what do you guys think about a guy who was asked to wear a shirt that represented the LGBTQ plus community, and then he declines? He says because of his Christian beliefs and his Christian faith, he doesn't judge anyone, but he just cannot put on the shirt.
How should we go? You want me to start first or you want Daniel to start?
No, you can start first, Ulrich. Come on, let me back up.
You want to change spaces?
Yeah.
I have zero issue with everything that he said. I think what he said was earnest, and I think what he said was...
Tell me what you mean by earnest.
Earnest means serious and sincere. So I think he truly meant what he said, and what he said was based out of his personal principle, and I don't think he said it with any agenda, but to explain why he didn't want to wear the shirt. I think the only reason he was I think he was pressured to give his explanation why he didn't wear the shirt in the first place.
Right, and
So
I think this was a shirt for practice only, actually, too.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
I think it was a practice shirt.
Practice? We talk about practice?
Yes, yes. This is why I brought this up. What do you say, Daniel, about this man who's earnest, according to Ulrich, about his convictions?
I say if that's his choice, he has every right. And if that's his belief, he has every right not to wear it. No one should be told what to wear, when to wear it. And if that's his belief, then so be it.
So you think it's good?
I think he's standing up for what he believes, and nothing's wrong with that. If somebody says, hey, white lives matter, should I wear that jersey? And if it's contrary to my beliefs, if they say...
Wait, you're saying there's a problem with the White Lives Matter shirt too?
For me, yeah, hell yeah.
Is the Black Lives Matter shirt okay?
It's amazing. It's the best shirt ever.
But the White Lives Matter shirt, no.
Uh-oh. You opened up a can of worms on this one.
I think the White Lives Matter. I think that's when you get to the point of all lives matter. But right now we're talking about Black lives. So, yes.
So you're saying there will be a time when the White Lives Matter shirt will be fine, but in a different timeline.
No, it's just more. It depends on the situation. And then I think it's more of the fact that, again, with 13%. Highest incarceration rates, highest poverty. They've killed all our leaders. It's systematic racism. So it's different.
Okay. Ulrich, hold me back.
Chill.
Put the shirt on, bro. Put the shirt on.
Why should he put the shirt on?
Because it's in his contract. This ain't got nothing to do with religion. This is the shirt that the team is wearing. You're part of the team. There's no... Hold me back, Ulrich. Put the shirt on.
So you saying...
Put the shirt on,
so you're saying everybody should stand for the national anthem?
Oh.
No, I think when you sign these contracts with these companies, you are no longer an individual. You are part of a team. You're part of a collective. You're part of the Borg. And to think that a shirt takes away from your Christianity is out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I could be a Christian in a cesspool of strippers and whores. I could be a Christian anywhere. No shirt dictates my faith and my Christianity. I think he weakens his faith by saying that this shirt goes against and contradicts what I am. What?
All right.
So,
okay, yeah. I was gonna say. I agreed 100% with you when you say from the perspective as him being part of a team,
right?
And him being them doing whatever narrative. That's a consequence. At my job, I work with a bunch of people who fundamentally disagree with 90% of what I say, but I still do the narrative. I still do the diversity and inclusion nonsense that we have to do. I still go to the meetings that say that, wherever you identify, go into that breakout room as far as the Zoom thing. The other day we have a diversity and inclusion meeting currently, and we were told to go in the room where we racially identify. Now,
Wait a
personally-
minute.
Now, personally,
Wait a minute.
Now, personally,
Wait a minute. Slow this down. Let's take this slow. Please continue. Start over with this.
All right,
Last two sentences.
So now, anybody who does diversity and inclusion training, knowing that this nonsense is, you're just going to be part of this nonsense. Now, I vehemently, that means I aggressively disagree with the notion, the notion, or even the action of going into a room based on what I feel my racial identity is, and then going into a room with a bunch of other people and then talk. Like,
wait. So they had you go into a room.
Yeah, all right. I'm sorry, I didn't preface it. All right, so I have to do 4 weeks of diversity and inclusion training for my job at an after-school program, right? That diversity and inclusion training includes includes sections where they say, or includes activities where they try to talk about your identity, and one of those things is talking about your racial identity. So speaking of our racial identity, they divided the group. There's about 27 of us, and they said, and they had like 5 subsets. There was Black, there was Latinx, there was what was it? Asian Pacific Latino, Asian Eastern Asian Pacific Islander. It's a very specific acronym. And there was another one, and there was 2 white people there, but there was no Anglo-Saxon or no any white or anything.
There was no Caucasian.
There was no Caucasian. There was no Caucasian, which I actually felt bad for them. And then either white feel bad for them. That's called compassion. But anyway, so anyway, so I went in those rooms. Now I to be fair, I was a little belligerent in which when I went to those rooms, it was like, so this is a black room. I was being very sarcastic when we came in there. So I wasn't actually, I wasn't fully taken in, but I did suck it up and do it. So I say that to say,
Right.
I vehemently disagree with them doing that. This is part of my job. I agreed to do this. Now, that being said, where I disagree with you, Elvis, is the shirt part. So
you wouldn't put on the "I identify as black" shirt?
No. That's taking it to another level, because now
you would have drew the line.
Yeah, I would have drawn the line there. So if someone if there was something where you were not just making me sit in a room and have a conversation, you were making me put on a shirt, you're making me brand myself, I think that crosses another line. I think it's one thing to say to make a team statement and say we support LGBTQ community and put that out as a team statement. It's another thing to say that, to wear a shirt that, which more so saying is expressing something you disagree with. If you disagree, you disagree. So what that point leads to is sports are stepping outside of their lanes, and sports are getting into lanes that has nothing to do with sports.
Right.
And that's disgusting in and of itself. And
right.
That's, again, propagandistic.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with hockey.
It's true. The shirt has nothing to do with goalie and hockey. Like what? Yeah. I get that.
And I think the argument, I can already hear the counter argument in my head is where they're gonna say, well, some people some LGBTQ people that might be interested in hockey may be deterred. Otherwise, if they didn't show that they had support. Anybody who's interested in the sport, now this is presuming, and this is what I criticized you on an earlier video for Daniel, but I feel like this little hypocrisy, but I can't imagine how, I didn't even know where to, see, I'm so apart from, I can't even speak the hypocrisy. I don't even remember what I was going to fully say, which that I agree with you with.
Yeah.
So Daniel, go ahead.
All I'm gonna say is, if this is what he chooses, then he has every right to feel that way.
As the individual.
Yes.
But I'm not talking about feelings. We all have the right to feel anything we want to feel. Ulrich felt like it was ridiculous that these rooms were being, they were putting them in these rooms. Sorry about this. But this thing. Do I think he has the right to feel a certain way? Yeah, he can feel any way he wants to feel. What the hell that got to do with what we're doing right now? We're doing this shirt. We're putting this shirt on. Put the shirt on. We're paying you a lot of money. Put the shirt on.
So you're saying when they pay you a lot of money and you under contract, you're supposed to do what they say?
Yes.
Even if you disagree.
You are their B.
So you're saying if they told him you have to wear this KKK shirt, he's supposed to do it because he's a team player and he's under contract.
A KKK shirt?
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Representing hate? I want to see what this LGBTQ shirt look like. I hope it ain't the rainbow. Because I'm very upset that this rainbow has been taken over the way it's been taken over.
But
My son won't even wear a rainbow colored anything. Oh, that shirt is fire.
That's what I mean. I don't know. If it's the same
That's fire. Look at that shirt. Why is it that anything with multicolors like this is labeled LGBTQ?
that looks a lot better than the dopey rainbow shirts, actually. To be
This
fair.
is fire. I want this shirt.
I don't know about fire, but it's a lot. It's better than I.
It's a
expected it to
sweatshirt.
be.
I think this is another.
If it had no, if that shirt had no agenda, that shirt would be fire.
Oh, so they all have it. All of the teams are doing it. All of the teams are doing it. Oh my God, it's a sick world we live in. Let me just tell you, man,
Yeah.
I'm against them having the rainbow because the rainbow is very, very beautiful. Rainbow's been around long time. Why is it being appropriated like this? Where you have to, I can't even wear a rainbow shirt no more.
What comedian said that? What was it? Ralphie May?
Ralphie May, I don't know.
Yeah, Ralphie May. That's
Ralphie May.
That's nice. That was one of his things. He was like, who said that the rainbow? Who allowed this? Who said what meeting was there that nobody said?
But you know, it's very Illuminati because when I came up in the 90s, there was this organization that was connected to the Covenant House. And the Covenant House was this organization here in New York City where they used to drive around in these vans and they would pass out sandwiches to all the homeless kids, all the gay kids, and all of, anyone. But it was back then.
That's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, back in
If you're homeless,
1988,
yeah.
1989, 1987, 1986, there was just massive amounts of homeless. We're talking about 100,000 homeless kids were just running all over the streets of New York in 1986 through 1991. And the Covenant House created these vans, and they would go all around to where these places would be. And they also were sponsored by this organization that came out with a triangle, and in that triangle was the rainbow. And they got rid of the triangle as years went by. And let me tell you, man, they've appropriated that rainbow. And now we got hockey players not even willing to wear rainbow sweater. That sweatshirt was kind of fire. All I'm saying is, if that's even the one, I'm sure it's in that lane. That's my point. It's like now men can't wear rainbow shirts because of their religion and God this and it goes against mine. Shut up.
So
put
wait,
the shirt on.
isn't this a bigger question?
Damn shirt on.
Why can they dictate what athletes wear outside of when they're doing competition? Well, I don't understand how that can be even a job. You dress professionally and you have expectations towards work while you're working at the job. Outside of the job, there's no expectations how you're supposed to
No,
dress.
but this is all part of the job. What do you mean?
Well, my thing is, my thing is, if there's a uniform and you decide to change it,
That's not a uniform.
But they're saying your uniform is a hockey jersey of your team. That's a uniform.
Right.
Yeah, but that's not a jersey.
It's supposed to be for practice.
Yeah.
It was a shirt that they were going to wear for practice.
And if he chooses not to wear that, what's wrong with that?
No, I agree with that. I agree with you.
I think he's supposed to put on what they tell him to put on.
So you're saying anything they tell you to do once you sign a contract, you're supposed to do?
Yes.
That's an impasse. That's an impasse. That's a weird impasse because you're talking about I agree with you when it comes to the contract, and I agree with you. But when it comes
contracts
to the
are made
shirt,
to be broken.
it draws.
Not broken. Negotiated.
Yeah.
No,
So I think it speaks more to why do teams feel the right that they have to own the players to the point that not only during competition, during a practice they have to they have to put forth the team's particular
because
agenda.
corporations are paying them.
No,
and these corporations are what they're going to use to pay them.
Yeah,
the
but
players.
corporations.
Well,
Yeah, but
wait, but they
corporations.
still-
Yeah,
the corporation
I don't get
still
told
needs
how
a
to
player.
dress. I don't get told how to dress at maybe a work party. Maybe I get like maybe not. Well, let me preface that. Like I don't have to wear a uniform at a work outside of my work hours.
Right.
But now they might tell me if there's a work event, you have to dress formally. So there's still a range of freedom. There's always we don't have full freedom what we can wear in any instance. We can't no matter what at certain functions. We're not going to be led into a restaurant. We're not going to be led into a bar. We're not going to be led into places. But the fact that what their outfit is specific to a specific promoted agenda, I think that's wrong. But I agree with the contract. I agree with the fact that a team, you sign a contract. I don't believe this was explicit in the contract. I believe this was implied in the contract. Meaning, if there's functions, a team has stress, you have to abide by the team's, you know.
I say put the shirt on. It's only a shirt. Doesn't represent you. Doesn't represent anything else. When you're part of this kind of a environment and a team, you're part of the collective, the Borg collective. Ooh,
That's
got
tough,
some.
actually. Yeah, that is tough. I'm actually in the middle of that. I actually don't know which. That's a tough conversation.
The Bethany House in Laredo, Texas, played games with a homeless friend of mine until I sent them until I set them on Front Street and put them on blast. He was provided with housing with the quickness. We have to probably go back. Christopher Perkins says Elvis the man don't want to represent the LGBTQIOA plus at work. Chauvis
Church and state
are always separate. Also work. Church and state. I get that. But I think when you're making that kind of money,
Wait, so you're saying there's a dollar amount where you have to?
Yeah, actually, good. That's a good point.
So
Daniel.
you're
That's
saying
a
there's
good
a
point.
dollar amount when you have to just
That's a
abide
good
by
point.
everything?
That's a good
argument.
point.
Good
That's a
argument. Good argument. Good argument. I say yes.
He's like,
If I'm paying you this kind of money, put the shirt on. And don't play with me. That's what I would be the coach. I'd be like, put the damn shirt on. I'm not asking you to put the shirt on. I'm telling you to put the shirt on.
That's honest. That's honest.
Put the shirt on. That shirt don't represent you. That ain't nothing but a rainbow. Rainbows are beautiful. All of a sudden, now rainbows, we scared of rainbows? Come on.
So what I'm saying is so bureaucracy is constantly in competition without principles. Bureaucracy. Sorry. I supervise like 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds, and I disagree with what I have to tell them to do constantly. Now you see how I'm outspoken
I
here?
disagree with I have to tell them constantly. Right?
Yeah.
Right, because you're following a curriculum.
Yeah, so I do it, even though I'm outspoken here. You know, even in application, maybe I'm overestimating my. In a weird way, this almost makes me question with this guy. I'm overestimating my freedom in a weird way. In a weird way, because when it comes to the money, if they all right.
So you're saying you could be bored?
No.
We all can be bought.
No, we can't.
All of us can be
In
bought.
this
No,
You
I'm not
cannot
hold
say
on.
that. You
Can I
cannot
just-
say that
Yeah,
unless somebody has tried to buy you and you said no. I don't
In
want to
this
hear that.
specific instance, I am choosing not to endorse something that is counter to my personal convictions, which are based on the Bible, the highest authority in my life.
Oh, that book again.
Hey, stop being a hater, man.
It's that book. It's like
It's
let's
called
stop it with the
principle.
book. This guy is talking about this book is what's stopping him from being this. You're an amazing.
How does it stop him? Why does he feel it stops him?
The book is what's dictating to him.
No, yeah, the book is what the principles that y'all was just talking about previously that he follows.
Yeah.
I got a Gatorade in here. Yo, dude, it is super hot in here. These lights are like
Yo, I'm telling you that light.
this light right here, Daniel got. Woo! It's 100 degrees over here in this little spot.
Damn.
I need to hydrate.
I got Fiji.
All right, let's not walk away because Ulrich
Yeah,
walked away.
I got Fiji apple juice and
No, I'm good. I got that
sandwiches.
Gatorade, and I'm happy. I'm Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. You know what's great about what we're doing right now? There's a system. It's called the value for value system. And if you've gotten any value out of this, what I do is I ask you to hit the Cash App or hit the Venmo. And the Venmo is at $ Elvis Rosenberg, and the Cash App is no. The Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg, and the Cash App is $ Elvis Rosenberg, one word. And this value for value system is very amazing. Don't you agree, Ulrich, about the value for value show?
I agree.
Yeah, the value for value show is such a great system because
Miss Ruth has been blessing us.
yes, Miss Ruth has been blessing us. Yes, and Miss Ruth is not the only one. There's been a lot of people that have blessed us and said, "Here, we appreciate what you've done," and all I ask is that you utilize the value for value system. The next time you see us, we'll be a little more organized. We're doing a test show where we're trying out Daniel B, seeing how things go, how things flow.
And please put in the comments if you like me or not. I want to hear. I want to know. Because I know I'm better than these two. So
No one's better than anyone here.
I like that. That's healthy. That's healthy hubris.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No one is better than anyone. We are all here with our own perspectives because my life has led me into this direction that we are now. Daniel, B, and Ulrich, their life has led them to where they're at now. I don't like it when people play with kids' heads and manipulate them. Christopher Perkins.
I agree.
Like I said, he's a role model. If little kids see him representing LGBTQIOA+, I disagree with that. I disagree.
I agree with you. Put it in the comments. I appreciate that.
I don't think that this man wearing a shirt is. You see, this is the thing that I have a problem with. That beautiful rainbow doesn't change your Christianity.
See, him it does.
That's false.
How is it false? If
Because
saying
he's
this
part
what
of the
he believes?
collective. He's part of the Borg. Do your job.
LGBT.
Put the shirt on.
Because his principal would feel like he was being too much a hypocrite, so he couldn't live with himself. Imagine being
It's
proud
a
of
shirt. It's a
imagine being
rainbow.
proud. If you're
A rainbow.
But if you're
Wait,
proud
but
of a
that's,
principal,
that's how it starts. At
Yeah.
first, they started.
No, you don't go from shirt to something in your mouth.
No, I disagree. No, I wouldn't say, and I'm not talking about I'm not talking about him turning gay, but I understand him believing like part of his like happiness.
Why does he have to believe it?
Part of his happiness and that part of his what he believes he is and sees himself as is a believer. And if he felt like he was a hypocrite, it would be an ego death. So imagine breaking your ego apart and feeling like you were now I'm a fraud constantly. So I get why he feels the way he feels. I get like he's in a tough position, man. I actually feel bad for him.
I think he's
I feel bad for him.
I think he's another taking a knee kind of guy, looking for something to have as far as leverage to say, look at me.
Taking a knee didn't even make any. Taking a knee doesn't even. Taking a knee for in order to speak to America's past oppression doesn't. It's almost meaningless.
To you.
I find it meaningless.
Okay, I find
Taking
it
the
very.
knee?
I find it very meaningful.
Because
What, taking a knee?
Yes.
Because you're going to because American principles.
People don't realize what the anthem actually says.
No, racial.
No, hold on. No one listens to what the
That's
anthem
some NPR
says.
shit.
It is not just taking a knee.
Yes.
Jehovah's Witnesses has been doing it for years. They have not, because if you listen, it says, I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Yeah.
The flag that's the same flag that was like, oh, we're gonna have slavery, we're gonna take
but
up
the
the
flag
Americans.
didn't say no. The flag didn't speak like America's Constitution didn't speak to slavery. They spoke against slavery was against the Constitution. That's why it got overturned. Slavery was contradicted the Constitution, and all men are created equal under God.
But when they made the Constitution, it wasn't based on blacks. Blacks were not even configured in that. That's a fact.
You're saying blacks was a confederate. So I agree with the
Every
sentiment.
man was created equal. Was not.
You're
blacks
you're
were
referring to the 3/5
No,
compromise.
no.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
Prior
speaking
to that, no. Prior to that, blacks were not even considered.
No, 3/5 compromise was the only time it was articulated clearly
Exactly.
in the Constitution.
Afterwards.
So, but that was the only time.
not at the original Constitution.
Yeah, but the original Constitution just wasn't articulated. 3/5 compromise is what articulated that black people were not
And
full
they
person.
only did that because the slave masters were able to get more votes with them.
The reason they did that is because they started being an uprising against slavery. And what the American Constitution is do, because America was one of the first country ever to completely absolve slavery. That's what we forget about American history. So slavery
Was
What
it
is that, the
completely
13th
dissolved?
Amendment?
Was it
The
just
13th?
because they said it and didn't do it? Like
No. Slavery.
why we got
No.
Juneteenth.
What I mean, slavery was common and prominent throughout history. It had nothing to do with America. It had nothing to do with white people. Slavery in Africa was prominent. Slavery in Israel was prominent.
In Africa was different. It wasn't.
It wasn't white
being-
people that black people.
No. It was not. It was.
Oh, it was happy slavery. It was benevolent slavery.
No. It was a different type of slavery. Has been on since biblical times.
Yeah, so the old slavery was benevolent. No, American slavery was different.
Slavery,
Yeah.
picking cotton and beating you and killing you and putting.
So they didn't beat people before. So slaves were treated like angels, like in the Roman Empire when slaves had to fight and be gladiators because based on their bodies. Like that was because the Roman Empire was considered even today as one of the most progressive empires in history. And it was
Not saying that it was, but they got everything from Egypt, but that's a whole other story.
Another slave country. So slavery had nothing to do with America. America was the first person who stood up to slavery, if we're being real about it. So this is what they don't.
It was not. It was.
So
not.
what was the first country to eradicate slavery in their constitution or outward slavery?
God. Just because I say I'm going to stop doing something but continue to do something and make sure that the people still have no other sort. It's like me sitting there saying, yo, I'm going to allow you to walk down the block. But I'm going to lock the doors on you. Make sure that you can't get through. Stop it. Just because we say something.
I'm talking about America compared to other. You're talking. I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is they like slavery. Once the sentiment against slavery happened, they didn't immediately do it. They didn't
I'm not
really
gonna keep
go
it on
against
race. I'm gonna keep it on with Christianity that he felt. If he feels he shouldn't have to wear the shirt, he doesn't have to wear the shirt. Because guess what? We're all individuals, and we don't have to follow it.
He's not an individual. He's bought and paid for. He's property.
Evidently,
He's under contract. Put on the shirt. Please don't think
so that's a bigger
Hold on a
question.
second.
Yeah, so it's a bigger argument. Does teams have the right to do that?
Evidently, he doesn't feel that
That's
way.
a big argument.
That's why he's not wearing
I
it.
think he's a fake Colin Kaepernick.
But
Even though Colin Kaepernick, I don't have no real feeling for this guy. I mean, he talked
I
a
think-
good game in the
well,
beginning.
this guy had something to lose.
know.
Colin Kaepernick only had to gain. That's a different. Colin Kaepernick had nothing to gain because he was already persona non grata in the NFL.
Wait. He worked all his life to
Tell me
do
what you
something.
mean by persona non grata.
So in the NFL, when he started the kind of racial stuff and he started the kind of kneel for the national anthem, he had already been rejected from everything. He didn't have a team to play on, especially as a starter quarterback. He only the only potential he had was to be a backup quarterback. Now that may be contradicted. Maybe that could be contradicted by maybe one or two teams believe in them, but what happened is Colin Kaepernick wasn't in a position where he could succeed. Now what happened is that with the taking a knee thing, he became a star. That made him a star.
Right.
And he
Hey, you don't think this is going to elevate this guy not wearing the shirt?
I think
He's going to be a star too.
Colin Kaepernick went when the market was rising up. This guy went on the Christian market. It's funny. We're the minorities, the kind of believers. Right now, we're the minorities, and we're the kind of quieter, and we're the kind of bullied people. It's hip to be agnostic. It's hip to be atheist. It's not hip right now to believe in stuff. That's how I feel. But this guy.
I think it's a good argument.
So this guy doesn't have. I don't think this guy can only be frowned at, especially in the sports. There's no such thing. Sports has no. What's the word I'm looking for? has no genuine motivations. I think sports commonly, every motivation, especially motivations outside sports, is based on an agenda for the greater, the what's the word? The organization's business. Therefore, like if you're the New York Rangers, not saying the New York Rangers feels this way to feel, but if you're in the New York Rangers and you agree that we support LGBT community, it is advantageous to the New York Rangers. It has nothing to do with the principle because it's empty. You advancing doesn't it means nothing. It's empty. So, but it does mean a lot for an organization.
Right.
And that's because of and this is a specific thing, the investability score. You know about they
Tell me
created,
about that investability score.
I believe the acronym is a GBS score, but they added social justice, social awareness, and social consciousness to your investability. So they gauge when you're looked at how investable you are, or your value or worth is. They kind of gauge other stuff. Your how what's the word? How marketable you are, how A, B, and C, how likely you are to make more money. And part of what's installed is that how much you push forward social justice and things like, so that's been intertwined with businesses. So businesses, when they're pushing forward social justice, it has nothing to, it's about a bottom line. It has nothing to do with anything.
Of course.
So
this is my point. This is about a bottom line.
But I don't think it would
This is not about,
yeah.
Listen, if anybody thinks that wearing a shirt is going to make you anything other than the person you are, that's a joke. Dude,
That's
I could
personal
put
integrity.
I could put any suit on. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't make me different. I am the man that I am. I don't care what you tell me to put on. It ain't gonna change me. And I think they're giving it too much power. I think they're giving these little shirts. Oh, I can't wear that shirt. Da, 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 da. Too much power. Daniel B, we're gonna say goodbye now. Come say goodbye. What you looking for over there?
No, it's just making sure I look good for this camera.
I'm Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, and I'm here with
Daniel B.
and we are very thankful. Everybody here, don't forget the value for value system. You are appreciated.
It's been real.
And I love you. That's a fact.